Hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is all about friendship and life lessons. You're going to hear 3 gripping stories about friends, how they can let us down, surprise us, or come through when we need them most. Each story is packed with moments that will make you reflect and relate. You'll feel the tension, the excitement, and the lessons as if you were right there. So grab your headphones, settle in, and let's start with our first story, a friend who let me down unexpectedly. A few years ago, I was preparing to move into a new apartment. I had spent weeks packing boxes, labeling fragile items, and imagining how I would arrange my new space. I pictured the sunlight streaming through the living room windows, the small reading corner I had always dreamed of, and even the smell of freshly painted walls. Everything felt perfect, like the start of something new and exciting. Because I trusted him completely, I asked my closest friend to help me. I imagined us working together, laughing as we carried boxes and assembled furniture. I pictured the kind of effortless teamwork that makes hard work feel easy. The morning of the move was bright and sunny. Birds were singing, the air smelled faintly of flowers from the garden below, and a light breeze carried the promise of a good day. I loaded the first few boxes into the car and decided to call my friend to confirm. His voice came through casually, almost dismissively. "Oh, hey. I'm really busy today. Can't make it. Maybe next time." I froze. My heart sank. Maybe next time. I repeated, disbelief and shock washing over me. I had counted on him completely. The sense of disappointment was immediate and heavy, like a stone pressing down on my chest. I stared at the pile of boxes in my living room. Each one seemed heavier than before, mocking me silently. Excitement evaporated, replaced by frustration and rising anxiety. I took a deep breath. "I can do this," I whispered, though a small voice in my head questioned me. I started moving boxes, one by one. My arms shook, my back ached, and each step up the narrow stairs felt like climbing a mountain. At one point, a box slipped from my hands, and I almost shouted in anger, but instead, I paused, took a breath, and carefully picked it up again. Neighbors passing by noticed my struggle. One shouted, "Need a hand with that chair." Another offered to carry a small table. Their help was welcome, but most of the work was still mine. I kept glancing at my phone, half expecting a message from my friend, but nothing came. Hours passed, and the sun moved across the sky, casting long shadows through the windows. I paused several times, sipping water and catching my breath, wondering why some friends disappoint us when we least expect it. Did he forget? Was he too busy? Or did he simply not care? Exit. He listened calmly. "Stay right there. Don't panic. I'll be there in 20 minutes with everything you need." 20 minutes felt like an eternity, but true to his word, he arrived, carrying a toolbox, jumper cables, and even a bottle of water. His calm presence immediately eased my nerves. "First, let's take a look," he said, kneeling beside the car. He explained each step as he worked, breaking it down for someone like me who knows almost nothing about engines. "Looks like the alternator is fried," he said finally. "We can't fully fix it here, but I can make it drivable enough to reach a repair shop." While he worked, I watched in awe, noting how calmly he assessed the situation, how efficiently he moved. Sweat trickled down my forehead from the hot sun, and my hands were still shaking, but his presence kept me grounded. I tried to help, handing him wrenches and tools as instructed. "Perfect. Okay, now let's try starting it again," he said. I held my breath as the engine roared back to life, shaky but working. A huge wave of relief washed over me, and I couldn't help smiling, almost laughing in disbelief. On the drive to the nearest repair shop, I sat back, still a little tense, still processing what had happened. "I honestly don't know what I would have done without you," I admitted, glancing at him. He smiled. "Hey, that's what friends are for. You'd do the same for me." That day, I realized the true value of friendship. It's not just about hanging out or sharing laughs. It's about being there when it counts, when things go wrong and life throws unexpected challenges at you. A friend who shows up in those moments doesn't just fix a problem. They give you a sense of safety, trust, and human connection. By the time we reached the repair shop, I felt a mix of gratitude and awe. The car might have needed more work, but the lesson I carried with me was far greater. True friends don't wait for perfect moments. They act when it matters most. Even now, I remember the sound of the engine struggling back to life, the wind rustling through the fields, and the calm voice of my friend saying, "I've got this." It wasn't just about a car, it was about reliability, courage, and the quiet power of someone showing up when the world seems to be against you. The third story is about a friend who revealed his true character during a complicated adventure. A few months ago, I went camping in the mountains with a group of friends, including someone I barely knew, a friend of a friend. The plan seemed simple: a weekend surrounded by fresh air, towering trees, a small campfire, and a break from the stresses of everyday life. The first day was perfect. We hiked along trails, laughed around the fire, and set up our tents under a clear sky. Everything felt calm and safe, almost too perfect. But nature had other plans. Late at night, heavy rain began pouring. At first, it was just a light drizzle, but within minutes, it became a relentless downpour. The wind howled through the trees, branches bent and creaked dangerously, and our tents started to tremble. One of the tents collapsed in the middle of the night, spilling sleeping bags and gear across the wet ground. Panic rippled through the group. "Help! My bag is soaking!" someone shouted. I froze, unsure where to start. Then the new friend stepped forward calmly. "Everyone, stay calm and follow me. We'll secure the tents and move everything under the large canopy," he instructed. His voice cut through the chaos like a lifeline. He immediately began organizing everyone, assigning tasks. "You, grab the sleeping bags. You, help with the poles. Move carefully. Don't slip," he said firmly but reassuringly. I felt a mix of relief and admiration. Even in the middle of the storm, he remained composed, almost as if he had expected this all along. The rain soaked us to the skin. My clothes clung uncomfortably, my boots squelched with every step, and cold droplets ran down my face. My heart raced, and fear gnawed at the back of my mind, but his calm presence grounded us. "Careful with the ropes. Tie them tightly, but don't pull too hard," he instructed, moving swiftly through the mud. We worked for what felt like hours. At one point, I slipped on the wet grass, almost dropping a backpack. "I've got it," he shouted, catching it just in time. That moment, small as it was, reminded me how crucial his presence had become. By early morning, we had secured all tents, kept everyone safe, and salvaged most of our gear. The storm finally began to ease, leaving the mountains shrouded in mist and the forest glistening with rain. Exhausted, we sat together under the canopy, shivering but smiling, sharing nervous laughter. As I sipped a small cup of lukewarm coffee, I realized what I had witnessed. This friend had shown leadership, calmness, and courage when chaos erupted. He didn't just help manage the storm, he inspired everyone to keep going, to trust themselves and each other. I reflected on how often true friendship reveals itself in these moments of crisis, when ordinary people step up and shine. Even now, I remember the sound of rain drumming on the canopy, the wind rustling the wet leaves, the fog curling around the trees, and his calm voice directing us. It wasn't just about surviving the storm, it was about recognizing courage, reliability, and the quiet strength a friend can bring when life gets complicated. That weekend taught me something invaluable. Sometimes, the people we barely know can become our heroes, and a calm, decisive friend can turn fear into action and uncertainty into trust. It was a lesson in friendship, courage, and the power of staying composed under pressure, a lesson I carry with me to this day. And that brings us to the end of today's video. We've heard 3 very different stories, each highlighting an important aspect of friendship and life lessons. The first story showed us how disappointment can teach us resilience and self-reliance. The second reminded us that true friends step up when it matters most, offering help and calm in the middle of chaos. And the third story revealed how unexpected friends can show courage and leadership, guiding us through situations we never anticipated. Through these stories, we can see that friendship isn't just about fun times or easy days. It's about trust, support, and showing up for each other when life gets complicated. Each of us has moments where we might be let down, helped, or inspired by someone else, and these experiences shape who we are and how we value the people around us. So next time you reflect on your friendships, remember these stories. Appreciate the friends who lift you up, learn from those who let you down, and never underestimate the power of someone stepping forward when you need them most. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed these stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real-life lessons and inspiring tales.